Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate with a promising past, has rapidly become the center of one of the most sensational true crime cases in recent memory. His alleged involvement in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has sparked not only a massive manhunt and legal battle, but also a cultural debate that has inspired several high-profile documentaries. On December 4, 2024, Brian Thompson was fatally shot outside Manhattan's Hilton Midtown Hotel. The execution-style killing, captured on surveillance video, immediately set off a nationwide investigation. Authorities soon linked the crime to Mangione after recovering bullet casings inscribed with the cryptic words "delay, deny, and depose," messages seen as a direct attack on the practices of the health insurance industry. After a tense multi-day pursuit, Mangione was apprehended at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania 5 days after the shooting. His capture, amid widespread media frenzy, added to the dramatic narrative of a high-profile manhunt that gripped the nation. Investigations revealed that Mangione carried a manifesto outlining his deep-seated frustrations with a healthcare system he believed was oppressive and profit-driven. The document, along with his social media posts, paints a picture of a young man struggling with personal health issues and isolation whose anger evolved into a radical act of protest. His writings have been interpreted as both a personal confession and a pointed critique of corporate practices in the healthcare industry. The case struck a chord with many Americans. While law enforcement and most media outlets condemned the crime, a surprising number of people took to social media to label Mangione as a modern-day anti-corporate vigilante. This polarized public sentiment not only deepened the media coverage but also influenced pop culture with sketches on shows like Saturday Night Live and heated online debates that elevated Mangione to a near-mythical status. Following his arrest, Mangione faces multiple charges including murder, stalking, and terrorism, which could potentially result in the death penalty if he is convicted. His trial is set to become one of the most closely watched legal proceedings, with experts debating possible defense strategies and the impact of his controversial public image. Meanwhile, the case has ignited a broader conversation about the state of the American healthcare system, corporate accountability, and the radicalization that can stem from systemic inequities. Luigi Mangione's story is more than a tale of a lone act of violence. It is a modern tragedy intertwined with social commentary. The documentaries in production not only chronicle the dramatic sequence of events from the chilling murder and frantic manhunt to the intense legal scrutiny, but also explore how personal despair and systemic failures can converge in catastrophic ways. As each new film and special airs, the case continues to provoke debate about justice, mental health, and the impact of corporate power in contemporary America. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old accused of killing United Healthcare CEO last year, appeared for a largely procedural court hearing Friday amid a groundswell of support from fans who braved the harsh New York City cold and lined up for hours outside the courtroom, some bedecked in free Luigi apparel. One attendee told CNN she'd arrived at the courthouse at 5 a.m. ET, hoping to witness the brief court proceedings in person. Others waved signs reading "Free Luigi" and "Healthcare is a human right." Posters of the leaders of other major healthcare corporations appeared nearby the court, with the word "wanted" emblazoned above a picture of each executive. Mangione arrived with his hands and ankles shackled, wearing a bulletproof vest over a green sweater, matching many of his supporters in and outside the courtroom, who also wore green. Judge Gregory Caro denied a request from one of Mangione's attorneys to remove the shackles. The 26-year-old has pleaded not guilty to state charges, but has yet to enter a plea on federal murder charges related to the killing of Brian Thompson as the executive walked toward the hotel hosting United Healthcare's annual investor conference in Midtown Manhattan on December 4th. Friday's hearing attracted dozens of supporters and observers, a reflection of public fascination with the killing and Mangione himself. One of Mangione's attorneys, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, was greeted with applause and cheers when she arrived at the courthouse. Friday's hearing was the latest update in Mangione's New York State case. He also faces federal charges and state charges in Pennsylvania over what authorities say was his role in Thompson's death. In New York, he was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury on 11 counts, including 1 count of murder in the first degree and 2 counts of murder in the second degree, along with other weapon and forgery charges. The first-degree murder charge alleges he killed the executive in furtherance of an act of terrorism, which is legally defined as an intent to intimidate or coerce the civilian population or a government unit. One of the second-degree counts also alleges Mangione committed murder as a crime of terrorism. He faces a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole if convicted, according to the Manhattan District Attorney. At the Friday hearing, which took place in the same courtroom where President Donald Trump faced criminal trial in a hush-money case last year, prosecutors reviewed the evidence they say they've turned over to the defense. The evidence includes police body camera footage, police reports, surveillance videos, data from a cell phone dropped at the scene of the crime, autopsy reports, the medical examiner's forensic files, and forensic DNA testing materials. More materials still need to be turned over to Mangione's legal team, prosecutors said. Additionally, Judge Caro scheduled Mangione's next hearing for June 26th and set a schedule for his legal team to submit motions despite objections from his defense. Agnifilo said she's primarily focused on ongoing talks with federal prosecutors who haven't decided whether to seek the death penalty, and she wants access to all discovery materials before she submits motions. She claimed that in an HBO documentary, New York City Mayor Eric Adams had discussed evidence that hadn't been given to the defense. The commotion around Friday's hearing mirrors the sympathy and support Mangione has garnered from a portion of the population since he was identified as a suspect in the shooting. There were free Luigi scarves and free Luigi sweaters. There were chants of health care is a human right and other slogans that pointed to the way Mangione's case has become an outlet for larger frustrations with America's health care industry. Inside the courthouse would be attendees, many of them young women, packed the hallway hoping to snag one of the courtroom seats open to the public. Chelsea Manning, the former United States Army soldier and whistleblower convicted of violating the Espionage Act after leaking documents to WikiLeaks, was spotted among the attendees. The day before the hearing, an image of Mangione's likeness was projected on the side of a New York City building accompanied by the words, "Free Luigi." The anonymous group responsible for the projection told CN, and it created the display to emphasize Luigi Mangione's right to a fair trial, something every citizen deserves, regardless of public perception or political maneuvering. Prosecutors have said Mangione expressed hostility toward the health insurance industry and wealthy executives. In the days after Thompson's killing, stories about denied insurance claims and their disastrous effects on patients flooded social media. After he was identified as a suspect, the former high school valedictorian and Ivy League graduate received widespread support, including offers to help pay for his legal bills and extended applause at the mention of his name in a Saturday Night Live sketch. Mangione's acclaim also drew criticism from politicians and lawmakers. Pennsylvania Gov. Josh Shapiro said shortly after his arrest that Mangione was no hero. In America, we do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint, Shapiro said following Mangione's first court appearance. Mangione released his first statement from prison last week on a new website created and linked to by his attorneys at the law firm Agnifilo and Trader. "I'm overwhelmed by and grateful for everyone who has written me to share their stories and express their support," reads the statement from Mangione. Powerfully, this support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions as mail has flooded MDC from across the country and around the globe. While it is impossible for me to reply to most letters, please know that I read every one that I receive. The statement continues.